This presentation will help you complete English 1220 successfully. Let's start by looking at the weekly agenda for modules 1 through 7. And we need to think about module 8, that's the poetry essay. That has a different due date, Wednesday, because the course ends early. So on Monday, you'll start reading the assignments and you'll take notes. To find out what the assignments are, you can click on the weekly modules link on the left side of the screen, or you can see the chart in the syllabus. On Fridays, that's your deadline for submitting 2 posts no later than midnight. In addition, by Friday of week 1, you'll also post your course strategy discussion. Now, you should post early in the week if possible. When I say there's a Friday deadline or a Saturday deadline, or a Wednesday or Sunday deadline, I mean that's the last possible time. But to avoid having problems with your computer or illness or extra work, you will want to post or submit your assignments earlier in the week, especially for the discussions. That gives other students more time to reply to what you wrote. Now, Saturdays is the major deadline in the class. For weeks 2, 3, and 5, there's no late assignments. Now, week 2, you submit a proposal for the drama research paper, and that also has an outline and an annotated bibliography. There's detailed instructions on how to complete that assignment. In week 2, that assignment is worth 90 points. Now, in 3 and 5, you're doing a rough draft of the drama research paper in week 3 and the short story essay in week 5. Those rough drafts are due by midnight. Now, I need to emphasize this. There's never any late assignments. I never make exceptions. I've found that if students have the entire course at the beginning of it on day 1 and they understand there won't be any reviews of rough drafts, they are much more likely to be motivated and complete those rough drafts on time. So don't waste your time asking me to break the rule for you, because that'll just take up your time when you could be working with the tutors at the writing studio. Now, weeks 4 and 6 have a late penalty of 10% if you miss the Saturday deadline. You can submit the paper late. You can submit it on a Monday, but for the drama research paper, that would be 80 points off. The most you could earn would be 400 points, and if everything is perfect, and really who writes perfectly, I know I don't, it would be a maximum of 320 points instead of 400. So you don't want to miss that deadline. Now, the Saturday deadline for week 7 is for the MLA final exam. That's also due by midnight on Saturday. And then, as I mentioned before, in Module 8, you post your poetry essay by Wednesday because the course won't go until Sunday. And I need time to review all your grades and send you an email about your final grade to see if you earned extra credit, things like that. So Sunday is for the quizzes, and there are 6 quizzes, and you take them by midnight. There are 10 multiple choice questions in each quiz. Now, this is probably the most important slide. In fact, it certainly is, because it shows you how to allocate your time, how to divide your time. Remember, you should be spending 15 or more likely 20 hours a week on this course because it's accelerated. You're not taking 16 weeks, you're only taking 8, and you're saying you can do this without the 64 hours of classroom instruction. So you're an independent learner who learns very quickly, but it still takes time. So allocate, 20 hours usually. Some people can get by with only 15, but that's people who took APA English and already read everything in high school, things like that. So let's look at this pie chart. The drama research project is 490 points. That's 400 points for the final version of the research paper and 90 points for that week 2 proposal with the outline and the annotated bibliography. Again, there's a detailed assignment sheet when you click on modules for week 2, 3, and 4 that walks you through step by step how to complete that assignment. Similarly, the short story essay has a detailed assignment sheet that's worth 100 points. The poetry essay is actually a discussion post in week 8, and it's only worth 50 points. Your tests, and this includes the 50-point MLA final exam and the 30-point weekly quizzes for modules 1 through 6, that adds up to 230 points. And then the discussion posts are worth 130 points. 10 points is for the Module 1 course strategy. That's where you work with the other students and say, okay, I anticipate these problems and here's how I'll solve them. I know my computer may break down or my internet may break down, and I've already lined up a friend's computer if that happens. That kind of brainstorming together usually helps students get through the course. It can be a way for you to go back when you run into those problems and read the suggestions of other students. Now, those rough drafts are not graded, but they do help you to earn up to 600 points on the drama research paper and short story essay. So you do want to turn them in. Even though there are no points, you don't lose anything if you don't turn in the rough drafts. But remember, I never review late rough drafts. So if you want my advice, you need to meet that deadline. And those deadlines for major writing assignments are always on Saturdays in this course. So it's pretty easy to remember. Fridays is for discussion posts. Maximum deadline, hope you actually participated earlier in the week. Saturdays is the major deadline for the major writing assignments, and Sunday is for the tests, the 6 weekly module quizzes and the week 7 MLA final exam. Those discussion posts help you write the major assignments, even though they're only worth 130 points, including the 10 points for the course strategy in Module 1, they help you earn points in other categories. So each category is essential. Now, the module discussion posts add up to 120 points because they're 20 points each, and you have 6 of them. The weekly posts are graded with a rubric, and it's for your length, your content, whether you replied to someone else, and how your grammar is. Your first post is your original response, and your second post is a reply to another student. The original post should be posted as early as possible, but no later than Friday. You want to do it early so that other students have a chance to read and reply to you. Your follow-up post is due by Friday at midnight. And the major writing assignments add up to 640 points. That is, it breaks down this way: 90 points for the week 2 drama research paper proposal, 400 points for the short story essay. Okay, that's 590 points. And then we get to the 100 points for the short story essay. So the drama research project is 490 points, and the short story essay is 100 points. And we're getting up to that number by also adding in the 50-point poetry essay. That's a discussion post. It is actually due on Friday, so it's not really listed on this slide. So think in terms of 490 drama, 100 short story, and 50 for the poetry. The poetry is a much less formal assignment. It's written as a discussion post. There's no MLA citations. It's much easier. But that one is due on Wednesday because it's the last week in the class. And remember, the class doesn't go through till Sunday in week 8. It ends at midnight. So that's why we have a Wednesday deadline. That gives me time to, if somebody thinks they posted and they didn't, I can send them an email, and then they may still have time if they're checking the course to post. But that's only if it's a regular participator who honestly, didn't realize the post didn't go through, something like that. So submit your major writing assignments in the correct slot in the assignment folder, and think by midnight on Saturdays for drama and short story, Wednesday, Module 8, last week of class, for the 50-point, much more informal poetry post. You choose a poem and you just tell what it means to you. There's no right or wrong answer. Remember, no late assignments for weeks 3 and 5 because those are rough drafts. They're not graded. You don't lose points, but you don't get feedback if you miss the midnight on Saturday deadline. There's a 10% daily penalty for weeks 4 and 6 for the final versions. So that's 80 points if you submit the drama research paper on Monday instead of Sunday. So you definitely don't want to do that. Now, taking the 6 quizzes and the week 8 final exam. You want to study the assigned chapters in the book, and there's a picture of the book. Take notes on all the pages, not just the quiz questions, because I can only ask you 10 questions. Obviously, there's a lot more to learn. Be prepared because you can only enter the exam one time. And finally, if you have questions, you can write an email, you can call the number on the syllabus, or you can post in the questions discussion forum, or you can send an email and call and post. You can do all of those things. We're partners, and I'm looking forward to working with you. Good luck in the course.